This is an old Bose wave radio with CD, and this unit works beautiful as new, except for some of these buttons. The on-off button stopped working and volume down stopped working, and I found other videos on YouTube where people take it apart. However, no one takes the CD door apart with the keypad. And what I did was use a couple of knives and a pick, just like these, and a pick to pry it open, because I thought if there are latches, they eventually have to give way. But what I found upon opening it, that there are no latches. They're actually, these two parts of the door are glued together. So I eventually managed to open it up. I have to be very careful with the ribbon. And you'll find that there are no latches, but these plastic edges are glued together. So the way I opened it up was just pry gently. I started from the back, and I guess this broke first. Then I broke gently away all the way around it. But if you do so, if you decide to do so, I'd suggest first of all, if you are going to open it, split open like I did, pull the ribbon out, because you don't want to damage. This would be hard to buy a replacement, probably expensive too. But if you decide to go for it, pull the ribbon out, and also be very careful. There is a little switch that's for the door closing of the CD door, and you don't want to break this. So be careful with the part around the ribbon and around the ribbon socket. But you can do it, and what I plan on doing back. And what I found out, that these two not working buttons actually had some residue. Try to see the shiny residue. There's like an oily substance. Maybe something got spilled, or whatever it is. There's something I'm going to clean up, and I think the radio will work perfect. And also on the pads, on the conductive rubber pads, you can see this shiny residue that needs to be cleaned up, and I'm pretty sure it will work like new. Now, when I put it back, these two parts of the door, what I'm going to do is, I've got some little tiny screws from other projects taken outside. I probably put 4, maybe 6 screws, little tiny screws, to put it back together, so if I ever need to open it up again, I won't have to pry anything. I don't want to glue it back, and there is no need for it to be glued. It can be put together with a few screws. And now it's going to be very easy to clean. So I'm going to take it apart, remove the rubber, wash it, wash the lid, and this is my project. So I hope it will help someone if you decide that you want to fix it and you have the problem. Usually this one, because that's probably used the most, is for the stop alarm and on-off button. And also the volumes, they tend to go bad, but all it is just dirt that needs to be cleaned up with rubbing alcohol. So I'm sharing the knowledge with anybody interested, and I'd suggest if you can, if you liked it, if you find it helpful, give it a thumbs up so the algorithm will promote the video. I don't know of anyone else who opened and fixed the buttons on the CD door in those Bose wave radios. Otherwise, it's a very nice unit. You need a little bit clean up. I polished the front filter, the green filter. It's a great little unit with nice sound. It's a typical Bose sound. After opening the unit, you may take a look at the foam on the speaker wires, and this over time tends to be very brittle, and the foam will be falling off in chunks of the old insulation. And I already took the left speaker out, and just by running my fingers along the wire, I got a whole bunch of chunks of foam. So this needs to be removed, and either left alone there or replaced with new foam. And you can use one of the weather seals for a door and just put it back on. But I continue to be amazed how well this little unit was designed and made. I replaced the foam in one of the speakers already, and this looks pretty good to me. Hopefully this is good quality stuff. It's made in Canada, so I hope the foam and the glue will be of a lasting quality. And the way I do it is, after cleaning it up, I place one part of the foam under the wire at the length that corresponds to the old one, and then I'll take another strip of foam and glue it on the top of it, and this should be the end result, and hopefully this will last at least another 20 years. The next step was to prepare the enclosure of the lid for 4 screws, 4 tiny screws to hold it together. And the way I did it was to place super glue 4 chunks of plastic in the corners here, and I tried other plastics. I tried plastic from coat hanger, but this kind was not bonding with super glue. So I tried something else. I used a hand from this is a utensil, some kind of a spatula for grill. I cut it with a hacksaw and then glued it together with crazy glue, and then I tested whether it would break off, and it seemed to be bonding. So I used this material. Now you are limited with size of it because you have to squeeze between the edge of the enclosure and the edge of the keypad board, and the size of it cannot exceed about 5 millimeters is the maximum. So you have to be careful with that. And because of the tiny size, your screws holding the lid have to be tiny. This is a practical suggestion. If you work on the lid like this, it's best to protect it. I put some paper towel on the other side so I don't have to worry about scratching it. These are the finishing touches, and I inserted 3 of the screws. They're already in, and the way I did it was to make a little room with a larger drill bit by hand. You cannot use your electric drill because it's going to jump right through it, but with your hand you can make a little tiny indentation for the head of the screw to hide. I put back the ribbon. Now this socket has this slider that you move in and out in order to remove or to insert the ribbon. The other end is just a simple push in. Now the screws that I use are tiny little guys, and this one is a little over 8 millimeter long. They come from another project, but they work perfect. So this is almost the end of my project, and this will allow me to open whenever I have any problem or spillage on the keypad. I will be able to open and clean it up. Now I just want to show that if you use the same kind of solution and put screws in, if you put them away as I did, even if they protrude, they're not going to scratch the CD. They are well outside the boundaries, outside of the edge of it. So it's not going to be a problem whatsoever, even if they protrude slightly. The little Bose is put together. Everything works. The keys that didn't work was the power and the volume down. Now everything is clean as new, and the keypad is nicely accessible by unscrewing these 4 little screws here. It looks like factory made, doesn't look like a repair at all. And everything works great. So you turn on the power, you can turn on the volume, everything is perfectly working. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.